What is this? Don't tell me. Please, no. For the love of God, no! Not another podcast! Hey, you. Yeah, you over there. How did you get here? Well, I don't know how, but I'm glad you're here. Since you're here, you might as well stay a while. Who am I? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But more importantly, who are you? Oh, that's right. You can't tell me this is a podcast. I'm talking to you, and you're listening to me, or probably not listening to me because you're like, oh, this guy sounds awful. Let me turn it off. I don't blame you. Where was I? Oh yeah, so it's another podcast. Yep. So what is this podcast about? Well, anything and everything. Anything and everything that goes on in this little crazy mind of mine. What's the name of the podcast, you ask? Well, see, the problem is all the good names are taken. So that's it. All the good names are taken. That's the name of the podcast. AKA, name of this podcast with my partner, who will not be on today, but you'll meet them eventually at some point in time. Why should you spend your time listening to this one? Because there's so many options. There's more podcasts than people now. The reason is simple. Because this podcast is unequivocally, without a doubt, the best podcast in the history of podcasts forever. According to my mom. And she's like my toughest critic. And I will be your captain, co-captain, host through this journey. So what's my name? Reese, aka Jobless Reese. Why am I jobless? Well, you know what? I guess that can be episode 1 on All the Good Names Are Taken podcast, aka name of this podcast, episode 1. I'm Reese, your host, and I wasn't always jobless. In fact, I've had many jobs over my very short time here on Earth. I'm only years of age. I'm super young and hip and with it, as the kids say. I mean, kids from the 1950s, but still, kids. Whew, where do I start? Well, I went to university, which makes me sound Canadian, but I'm not. I went to college for many, many years. And during that time in college, I got a job. And I said, this job is only going to be temporary. I'm not going to do this job forever. So, of course, when I graduated, I still worked at that same job. Could not get anywhere, even after I had the piece of paper that said, I'm a degreed person, I'm smart, even though student loan debt would say otherwise, hire me to run your whatever. It didn't happen. I just got stuck where I was for a couple of years. So finally, I got another job in corporate world city.com for the win. Worked that job for a number of years. At first it was cool. It wasn't a job I loved. Did not love the job. Didn't really even like the job. But funny enough, I could tolerate the job. And I could tolerate the job for long stretches of time. And, when you get into one of those jobs, you're a young kid with a degree, some experience, people like you enough, so you move up and up and up. And that's what happened at that job. Eventually, I moved up and up and up. And for most of the time I was at that job, I was broke, except for like the last few years I was at that job. Then I wasn't broke. I was making some money, not great money, but enough to be like, you never think to yourself that you're living to work. You always think that you're working to live until you realize you're a lot more invested in the company than you think you are, than you want to be, than you claim you are. So for me, it was nothing at this job be putting in 10 to 12 hour days at an office job. Here's the thing. There's some professions that absolutely require that, and office jobs should not be one of them at all. but I would just put in so much time, so much effort, so much energy, and sure, my money would get up, but everything else was suffering. My personal life, my health, like the whole 9 yards. Everything was like just going to dog crap or cat crap. We're equal opportunity animal people here. So when you find yourself having a significant amount of loyalty to a job, funny enough, eventually something will show you that the job doesn't have the same amount of loyalty to you. Got into a really big situation at work, and I didn't come out on top of it. I didn't get fired. I didn't get suspended, but I wasn't backed. And the part that stung about me not being backed by my organization, is I saw other people get into a similar, if not worse, situation than I did, and they were backed. They were supported. They were backed. They came out better after being in the situation. They decidedly wanted me to come out worse in the situation. So, with that job, I said, I'm still young, I'm still pretty bright, I've saved up a lot of money since I've been here. Screw it, I'm leaving. And I did. And then I decided, I'm young, I'm pretty bright, I have some money saved up, let me go chase my dreams, because that's what we're always told. Chase your dreams, 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 chase your dreams. So for a year I did. Opened a business, I started a YouTube channel, I started doing a few other things, not a lot of other things, but a few of my passion projects. I wrote a book, I wrote some music. Like, I was really busy in that year off. And by the end of the year, I gained a lot of debt. That was about it. It was a fantastic year. I got to wake up when I wanted. I got to go to sleep when I wanted. I didn't have to report to anybody, and I didn't have anybody reporting to me. So for that part of the year, I was so glad I took that time off. But as far as chasing my goals and dreams went, the only thing I really have to show for that is a bunch of rejection letters. Oh yeah, and a couple songs that are on Pandora with like 10 plays each on them. But it was fun. It was fun, and I actually did enjoy life, except I couldn't eat. And I got kicked out of my apartment. And I couldn't afford anything. I couldn't afford the gas in my car. So I quickly went back to corporate America, but I didn't. I went the nonprofit route. I said, that last job, it was in banking. It was about nicely screwing people. I don't want to do that. I want to help people. I want to be idealistic. And I'm still young. I'm young and idealistic. And so what do young idealistic people do? They go into nonprofit. And then they find out nonprofit is not all it's cracked up to be. So I joined one nonprofit organization for like the lowest pay I had in my adult life. Like, they paid pennies. But they let you do what you want with your time for the most part, as long as you got the job done. And they left you alone. They let you do your job however you want to do your job. And I thought that was fantastic. However, if you got to take a few jobs just to make that job worth it, it's not worth it. And they come to find out, that job itself wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, because there were a lot of things wrong structurally with those jobs. Unfortunately, what I found out with nonprofits they're not that different from regular corporate America jobs. There can be a lot of corruption at top or ineptitude. It could be one or the other or both. I can't say there was corruption at this nonprofit I worked for, but I could definitely say there was some ineptitude. They had way too many chefs in the kitchen. They had way too many people in charge. Like, everybody got a title. It was like Oprah handing out cars. You get a title, and you get a title, and you get a title, and you get a title. And I'm like, if I stayed there for a couple more months, I would have gotten a title. But I didn't want it. I wanted to do my job. And at some point, it just became like a puppy mill. And it's just grinding billable hours out, really, really boring stuff that didn't really help people. So I said, let me go to a different nonprofit, one that paid a lot more, but would have a bit more structure. The mission was a little clearer. There was more autonomy because I'd be in charge. At least that's what I thought. Well, I thought very wrong. This organization, and I won't say its name, was without a doubt the worst organization I've ever worked for. The people at the top were not only corrupt, but they were also inept. It was like Game of Thrones in there. Like for the top level management to win, that means everyone else had to lose, and everyone else did a lot of losing. And well, from day one, I was not happy there. But they gave me a staff to take care of. They were like, these people are in your care. You're their leader. Take care of them. And I tried until they got laid off. And then I got laid off. And then I stayed laid off. So now I'm back. I'm back to the no job environment, even though that's not quite true. I do a lot of odd jobs now. So I do the ride shares of the world. I do, anything any opportunity that comes along, I do that. I've been able to piece together an okay living. I'm surviving, but I would like one of my passion projects to pay off at some point. But the thing is, I love doing it. So this leads me to why I am podcasting. This is the heaviest episode you'll probably ever hear from me. I'm actually a really silly guy in real life. I'm kind of crazy. I talk about a lot of just stupid stuff. And that is what you'll hear from me mostly, especially when my partner's around, because I think there's enough heavy out there. So I'm trying to have some fun. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still doing my videos, still writing, still creating, but all this stuff takes money. That's the dirty little secret. All this stuff takes time and money and effort and energy. And I don't know, for me, I work best with that stuff when I don't have to devote myself 10 hours a day to a company. And I can more devote myself 10 hours a day to getting these videos out on my slow behind computer, because the computer doesn't want to work well or properly or anything like that. And it's like, come on, please. And it's like, well, I'll work when I'm ready. And then all of a sudden it just shuts down on you and you're staring at your computer and you're just staring into the void because it's got a black screen of nothingness. And you're like, well, this was a whole day wasted. Also about me, I'm easily distracted. So I am a jack of all trades, master of none. What does that mean? I'm technically, and not to brag, because I'm not. I've been told I'm good at a lot of things. But when you're told that you're good at a lot of things, that means you're not really great at anything, at any one thing. So I'm really good at a lot of things. I like to think I'm great at certain things. My girlfriend would tell you otherwise. But, hey, listen. Are you listening? Or did you click off by now? You probably clicked off by now. But if for some reason you're still listening, this is my journey. I'm jobless for now, but I'm right now I'm in the job circuit. You see how easy it happens to me? Easily distracted. So sometimes these podcasts will be very coherent. In the future, I'll probably have topics. Hopefully my partner joins me sooner than later, because they're hilarious. She's hilarious. Her name is Bree. We call her Prince Vegeta. She's into anime and other things. And she's super talented. And I'm going to ride her coattails to glory. because that's how it happens. And we're going to be the next big thing on all the medias because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to dominate. I'm not here to play with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to take it over for the 99 to the 2000. That was so many years ago. Now it is 2019. 2019. The 99 to the 2000 was 20 years ago. And I was just born probably because I'm super young and hip. But where are we going with this? Like I said, anywhere you want to go with this. Anywhere and everywhere. So we're going to get into the stuff. We're going to talk about like my brain is weird. It goes a lot of places, and you know, this is a podcast for adults, so sometimes you'll have some adult language. I would say you could say this is like, you know, it'll stay into like the PG-13, R, NC, something. I don't know. What are you doing? Who are you? What would you like to see? I'm here for you. But I've actually always wanted to do a podcast. I just said, there's so many podcasts out there. Why would I add mine? Well, why not? So I will say this. Maybe I should make Chasing Your Dreams a different episode. Oh, snap. Am I starting to already come up with concepts for my podcast? Maybe. I do a lot of things. I do rideshare and other things, but I'm not going to be that person. There's already a podcast for that. I'm a creative, but guess what? There are a billion. No, this is literal. This is literal. You can check it. Don't really check it. A billion podcasts for creatives. A billion of them. 1,000,000,001. Why would I do that? So, this one will be about whatever we feel like. Gang, gang. Me and you. You and I. Us. And my partner. Don't forget my partner. In fact, would you like to call them up? Let's see if we can. Let's see if I can get them on the phone. I'm not editing this out, so if they don't answer, you'll understand.
Hello?
Hey!
Hey, what's up?
Hey! I just wanted our listening audience to actually hear your voice.
Our listening audience?
Yeah, I'm shooting our first podcast.
Nice.
This is Bree, a.k.a. Prince Vegeta, a.k.a. the talented one of the duo. She can't be here with us today, and not for a little while because, you know, she got some stuff going on. But when she does get here, you're going to be like, wow, this wasn't really a podcast without her. You're fired, and we only want to listen to her.
You're a goof.
So, and I'm not going to keep her long because she's got things to do. She's way more important than us. So is there anything you want to say to our listening audience that doesn't exist yet?
Fuck the free world. Ow, my ribs hurt.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't know. There's gonna be way more to say when I'm like even keeled.
Well, let's get listening audience who doesn't exist. Let's give her our spirit energy right now. Everybody, put your hands up. Throw your hands up.
All of that.
That's what she said. Oh man, this has already become a better podcast. But anyway, like I said, she will be with us soon. And then you'll be like, yo, this podcast is so much better. In the meantime, no. What we're going to do is call her in every now and again with these podcasts. So, we won't forget her voice. And then we're going to get her whole story. We're going to get in the whole story when she is in person.
It's going to be weird.
That's what I'm counting on.
Oh.
That's what I'm counting on.
Okay.
We're counting on weird because we are weird.
Oh, God.
She's the weird one. She's the more weird one. I'm normal.
Yeah, you are compared to me. I don't know what happened and why my life is like this, but it is, and I didn't ask for it.
She didn't ask for it, but that's what she got.
Take it back.
No, you can't take it back. You gotta keep it.
I wish they would take it back. Whoever the powers that be are, I wish they would take it back.
Well, all right, Prince Vegeta, you give us a sign off. Your special sign off.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Oh my fucking stupid! You're dumb. Oh my god. Feel better.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Bye. As you can see, that is the co-host. I know for a minute there you thought I didn't have one. You were like, this guy's just really talking to himself. But that's what podcasting is anyway. But you were like, you don't have a co-host. But now I do. You heard her. She's a talented half. So I think that right there is a perfect place to sign off. Sometimes the podcast will be longer. Sometimes the podcast will be even longer. You thought I was going to say short, but I didn't, because y'all going to get this. Y'all going to get this talking. Y'all going to respect this talking. So I don't actually know how to sign off, because this first podcast, this isn't pre-recorded. This wasn't rehearsed, even though it should have been. Thank you for being here for our inaugural launch of Name of This podcast, aka all the good episodes, all the good podcast name, all the good names are taken podcast. Too bad I don't know how to edit that out. Episode 1 of many. We are going to throw a lot of beats at you bastards. So protect your neck. Sign out.